Go ahead, Mikey. What do you got?
I'm saying, is he breaking ankles like Lamar Jackson, who may or may not be a Raven next year?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, guys. I talked about this yesterday, how it's so weird how people react to Lamar Jackson. People are, like, really angry that Lamar Jackson has not been – I don't know. Why do other people – I can understand Lamar Jackson being angry about the situation.
Yeah.
Maybe even Lamar Jackson's teammates being angry about it. I don't understand why fans are – like, non-Ravens fans are angry about Lamar Jackson. This is business, right? Like, people were screaming collusion already. Now, maybe they are like
it could be. It could be.
It might be, but these teams haven't even had a chance. It is weird that within an hour,
1 hour
of him being given the franchise tag, non-exclusive, so teams can negotiate with him, that 4 reports come out about 4 different quarterback-needy teams that are not interested. Now, personally, I don't believe those reports because why does it benefit Atlanta to say that they're interested? You never want to seem overly aggressive, right? Yeah. I think the thing is, though, we could see collusion in this situation. It could happen because it's crazy that these teams wouldn't be interested.
Yeah.
Because Lamar Jackson isn't, like, worse, the 7th or 8th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
But the league, obviously, a lot of these teams were pissed that Watson got all his money guaranteed.
Yeah.
And they don't want that to be a precedent. Now, I don't even think it is a precedent because Kyler Murray didn't get everything guaranteed. Now, all these quarterbacks that just signed the last couple of days, now they're not in that level of quarterback, but Daniel Jones, Geno, and Derek Carr, they didn't get everything guaranteed. I don't know what's going to happen with Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert here, who are eligible for extensions now. So they made, but I wonder if you're Lamar, Lamar's obviously feeling pissed at the Ravens. There's no doubt, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. If I were him, I'd be pissed too. Yeah. If I were the Ravens, I would want to see him one more year because he's been injured. But if I'm Lamar, I'm pissed, for me personally. You wonder if another team did go after him, do you think he would take a big money contract that wasn't 100% guaranteed from another team because that team has not previously insulted him?
Yep. I think he's done. He's played his last game in Baltimore. There's 2 reasons why. He looks at it like this. Hey, I'm 26 years old. I know Kyler Murray didn't get everything guaranteed, but he got 189 guaranteed. He's done nothing. He's like 23 and 24.
Lamar, way better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers got $50 million, and he's like 38 or 39.
Now, in fairness, he was coming off an MVP season.
He
Back
was.
to back.
He
Yeah.
was. Yeah, but that's a lot of money to guarantee an old guy,
Yeah.
right? And so he's looking at it like this. Hey, I'm more accomplished than Deshaun Watson. I haven't missed as many games as Deshaun Watson. I have none of the off-field baggage or anything with Deshaun Watson. And he feels a certain type way because he feels like they playing him twice. Remember when he came out, they said he was a receiver, right? Yep. People weren't going to draft him. He got, if you look at it, he got picked all the way at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
Right.
So he feels some type of way right there. Like, okay, y'all told me I wasn't good. Y'all told me I should play receiver. I came out and proved myself. Not only did I win an MVP, I've won 75% of the games that I played while I've been on the field. I'm the entire offense. You haven't got me any receivers. Matter of fact, you traded my best receiver.
That's true.
And I'm here putting on for the city, and you're upset at me because you want me to come back early from an injury. Well, maybe if you would have gave me my money, I would have considered doing that.
No, he would have.
He would
have come back.
But now it's like, no, you obviously want me. You don't want me to that level. Because here's the thing. If you would have said this about 4 other quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, they'd already signed the deal. Josh Allen would have already signed the deal. Mahomes, all of the big-time quarterbacks, they would have already given him whatever he wanted, and they'd have been on to something different. And here's the thing. It's not like they can't restructure the deal like Deshaun Watson's. It's not like Deshaun Watson's deal is going to cost the Browns not to get nobody. They give you the contract the first year, and they just keep restructuring it. So it's not even a thing where it's going to prohibit the Baltimore Ravens from doing anything. He's just looking at it as principle. Like, y'all ain't even close to where we want to get to, and I feel like you don't value me in that way.
Tyvis?
Well, if you look, it's a lot of ways you can look at it. They're mad at Lamar for taking the business aspect, and then in return they took the business aspect with giving him the non-exclusive franchise tag or whatever it's called.
You guys think he didn't play in that playoff game because he hadn't gotten paid?
No, I think he didn't play. I think he could have. He could have played. Now, would he have been Lamar Jackson? Absolutely not. But if I'm paid and my money's secure, what's the harm of going out there and at least giving the threat to the other team that I'm still there? You know, they still have to game plan for me because you don't know what Lamar you're going to get.
Fair.
So that's the part. If he was paid, he probably would have went out there and played. The fact that he wasn't paid, I'm not about to go out there and risk getting hurt even more. Like, that makes no sense. So he took the business part. And now they responded by doing the business thing by saying, hey, if somebody else want to give us 2 first-round picks for this guy, we'll take it. And then Baltimore, on top of that, they went to the playoffs this year. Obviously, he missed a nice chunk of this season. That defense is always going to keep them in games. If somebody's going to give Baltimore 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson, they should take those 2 first-round picks, get the rest of that offense, get those wide receivers together, and then address the quarterback situation next year. And I think that's the smart way to do. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at both sides. I think both sides are doing the right thing business-wise.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not like the Lamar situation is one of the most unique situations we've ever seen in the NFL, because when he's right, he's one of the best quarterbacks.
I mean,
in the
just
NFL.
take his first couple of games. He was unbelievable.
Right, but the problem is, since he won the MVP, he hasn't played consistently at that level.
You know why? Because his running backs hasn't been good. So what's been happening is when he was at an MVP level, he had 2 good running backs, and it was the threat of the run game and trying to stop him in the run game and the passing game. When you don't got that, he's taking everything on his shoulders. Now I'm the main quarterback and running back, so that's why he's not being able to finish these seasons.
But that was the case in 21. I agree with you, but in 20 he had his running back.
Was J.K. playing?
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins came back somewhere during the middle of the season.
And then this year they had a good running game.
Gus got hurt, and J.K. wasn't 100%.
No, but he played well at the end. Well, I guess by that point,
yeah.
But listen, it's fair to talk about the wide receivers, but independently of that, like if you because I'm so obsessed with fantasy football, and I've had Lamar on one of my main fantasy teams every year.
Me too.
And because the Ravens play in the AFC North, I watch almost every Ravens game. You do too. Like, clearly watching him, even when he was healthy the last 2 years, he wasn't as good. That doesn't mean he was bad. It just means he wasn't as good as the guy we saw win an MVP. At least in my opinion, watching him play all the time. So when you look at Lamar, part of me says, well, I got to pay him because he's better than 3/4 of the quarterbacks in the league. He's, as you said, our entire offense, like, the Ravens' offense will be absolute trash next year. Trash.
It's interesting, though, because now they have a new offensive coordinator who's an air raid type of guy.
But they have no quarterback, no wide receivers.
Yeah, they ain't got nothing.
You know, I mean, they got a nice tight end and decent running backs, pretty good running backs. But, I mean, on the other hand, if I'm a team, I'm like, well, he's missed the end of the season 2 years in a row. He hasn't played quite as well. I'd love to see him put together one more full year before I pay him a ton of money, especially because, like with Daniel Jones, right? Daniel Jones not nearly as good as Lamar Jackson.
Not at all.
I would have never wanted to pay Daniel Jones when he got paid. But at least
that guy behind the glass he might have been a little bit forward.
Right, because if you look at the contract, the Giants can get out of his deal after 2 years. Essentially, he's got a 2-year tryout. And in 2 years, the Giants will decide, yes, he's our guy, and now we got him by that point. If he continues to get better, we got him at a decent rate for the last 2 years. And if he's not our guy, well, we were going to at least keep him for one more year anyway. They would have franchised him or whatever. So we only had to pay him for 1 extra year. But in Lamar's case, even though his baseline is much higher than Daniel Jones, like with the Watson contract, if Watson ends up being a disaster here, that contract's a disaster because they can't get out of it. And it will be the same thing if you're locked in long term. But the high and the low of Lamar from like when he's right to when he's injured and has missed so much time, and his game tends, the more you run, the more you're going to get hurt.
Correct.
I mean, no matter who you are. And you even look at Cam Newton, right? Like Cam Newton, who's built like a Mack truck.
Yeah.
But he ran a lot.
He did.
And look at him. His career went completely off the hill.
RG3.
But at least Cam Newton was good for a while.
Yeah.
RG3 was good for 1 year.
Yeah.
Like Cam Newton was good for, 8 years, 10 years?
But to be fair on this one, though, with the Lamar thing, it's not just him. When you look at the injury of the Baltimore Ravens, their wide receivers get hurt every year.
That's true.
At some point, that organization has to look at the strength coach and say, what are we doing that we can't stay healthy? I think they were one of the most guys on IR this past season.
Well, and the year before,
Yeah,
before
that's
their
what
whole
I'm-
defense.
Yeah,
their
that's
whole
what I'm
defense
saying.
was
So
hurt.
at some point, you got to look at the strength staff and say, what are we doing in the offseason to get these guys? Why aren't their bodies able to sustain that many games? Because that's a problem.
Yeah.
And Rashard Bateman, I think he got on Twitter and he just went after the Ravens organization on Twitter like a couple days ago.
They're a
And
mess right now.
Yeah, and he was saying that y'all need to stop blaming the wide receiver because I guess they asked them. The GM said something about we don't have good wide receivers.
I'm gonna tell you.
So yeah, the Baltimore Ravens, right? If I'm Lamar, I might not even want to be there because it's just not good.
I mean, they've been riding off. Let's be clear. They've been riding off the coattails of Ozzie Newsome for years. Yeah, you see, these guys you didn't draft Ogden and Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. You didn't draft these guys.
Ozzie's still in the mix there.
But they got another dude up there that's calling the shots.
Yeah.
And how many people did you see on the Ravens ever call Ozzie out?
Well, because
Zero.
They were always good when I
They
was
was always great. And I think the thing that we're missing here, and I'm excited for the Ravens. I want y'all to do this. See, y'all got cocky. Aditi comes on and she praises the Baltimore Ravens, and she she loves the Ravens. And you know what? They're traditionally a good organization, but right now they're dead wrong. You know why they dead wrong? Because they think that they got the lucky pick. They think they got the mojo because they think they can draft quarterbacks better than everybody. Y'all lucked up and got Flacco. Now y'all got Lamar Jackson right after that. Guess what? That's cute to think you could go back into the draft again and see what you get.
I don't even think Flacco was that good. The year they won the Super Bowl, he played great in the playoffs.
He got him
overall in his career. I think he's an average
He
quarterback.
got him the
Flacco played
Super
really good
Joe
on that run.
Joe Flacco beat the Cleveland Browns.
He beat
last
them.
season.
So my thing is, they think you better than everybody else.
I
Trust
think
us.
they're going to suck this year if
Trust us.
Lamar doesn't play.
See,
Well,
hard to find a quarterback.
I'm not necessarily ready to say that.
who's going to be their quarterback?
If it's Huntley, then
Let's continue this for a second. Go ahead, Mikey. What do you
Yeah, real
got?
quick. Flacco played so well during that playoff stretch because he discovered Built Bars right before the postseason began.
Of course he did.
Started housing Built Bars,
Yeah.
gave him that elite arm strength.
That's true.
And even though he signed a massive contract with the Ravens after that, he was still using promo code LOCKDOWN15 at Built.com for Built Bars. Question real quick, and this is, I think, where I wanted this conversation to get to, and I think we're right in the prefaces of it. But do you think Andrew Berry, when he signed Deshaun Watson last year, knew an unintended or intended consequence of fully guaranteeing that deal is that the Ravens may not be able to pay Lamar what he wants because of it? The Bengals may not be able to par. What do you guys think about that?
The idea that the Bengals won't pay Joe Burrow is laughable to me. I know Mike Brown. You have to have the capital in real dollars. The reason the Bengals sold stadium naming rights last year was to pay Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
They're paying Joe Burrow. There's no doubt about it. I mean, if I'm wrong about that, I'll apologize and I'll call for Mike Brown to sell the team. But that's not going to happen.
I agree. If
So I
Joe
think that's
Burrow
gonna
don't
be
get
an
paid,
issue.
he gets.
It's a
They
lie.
sell
And
him.
what about Jackson? So take out Burrow, though. What about Jackson?
I don't think.
Is Watson's contract running Lamar out of Baltimore?
I think
Yes.
it has definitely yes,
Yes.
but I don't think they were thinking about that at the time.
Yeah, hey, I don't think that when the Browns put the pen with Deshaun, they didn't say we're gonna do this so
They were
Lamar
like,
get
we
out.
got to get this quarterback no matter what.
Yeah, that's
I came into this game saying one thing.
Yeah.
Only about 10 teams are trying to win, period. It's only 10 teams any given year actively trying to win. And this deal shows you that people aren't actively trying to win. Because if they were actively trying to win, there's nowhere in the universe that Lamar Jackson does not make the Baltimore Ravens a better team with him on the roster.
I agree.
So if you're punting on that and you saying it's the money, it's the money, it's the money, how you complaining about money? Don't y'all get $89 billion? You got Apple, Amazon, TV rights everywhere. How is it that the owners do a great job of really doing this to people all over the place? They tell you they don't got it. They allude to it. They keep saying it over and over and over again because they own the media. They own all the people, all the high price hosts. Well, they can't pay that. Well, they can't do this. And they tell you people they don't have the money.
To do what? To pay?
To pay Lamar Jackson.
Of course they have the money.
No,
to
they
pay
got
him.
the money to pay
They
him.
don't want to guarantee it all because, and that's essentially that's the players.
That's what it is right
the
here.
players. It's the players. The NFL Players Union had to hold out to make sure all contracts were guaranteed, and they haven't done that.
Well,
amazing.
it's a lot more to just that. It's a lot.
Well,
more.
I know it's very complicated,
it's
sure,
more
but
to that.
it's crazy that baseball players and basketball players guarantee money and football players
Well,
don't.
They cannot give me one reason why contracts are guaranteed.
Well,
they
I'm gonna
can't
tell
give me one side.
Well, I'm gonna tell you because I had this conversation with a guy who's on the NFLPA. He said that if you want to get, you can get guaranteed contracts, but like I said, you got to give up something. So we'll give you guaranteed contracts. We'll make sure that if you on the roster, your money is there. But guess what? The moment we cut you, we ain't give you no health care after for 5 years. We ain't taking care of none of your medical bills, none of that stuff. Would you take that deal? While you playing and as a 53 person on our roster, your money is 100% guaranteed. But the day we cut you, we don't owe you nothing
But see,
else.
here's the payoff.
So would you take that deal?
Let me tell you this. But the payoff is this: y'all didn't get it after 5 years anyway.
Yeah, we only get it 5 years.
So they told you we're gonna cut your money and only your health issues come when you're older.
Yes.
Why they cut you? Your first 5 years, we'll give you health care, but I'm 30 years old. I ain't gonna need no help in 30
I
years.
agree.
The owners are never hurting for money. Even
Never.
Correct.
the poor owners.
Yeah.
The lower money owners.
But it's just so much. It's so much give and pull, give and take in this
Yeah.
whole thing. You want guaranteed contracts, but you got to give up something, and they give it. The pensions is gone. We don't owe you no pension at 55. Like that's gone. We give you all the money now, but we ain't give you no money at 55 or 65, whatever it is.
Here's the crazy part about it. So the NFL makes more money than baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
So how is it that football teams can't afford and make the most, but they can't afford pension and guarantee deals?
Right.
They don't want to.
And by the way,
They don't want to. That's what they don't want. I'm not saying they can't. They don't
players
want
would
to.
have to fight for it.
Yeah.
And be willing to sit out a whole season. Which is never going to happen.
Nope.
The Players Union has never been able to do that.
Nope.
The problem is there's too many players that make the league minimum and are afraid they're never going to play.
Correct.
And to me, the pension is important for those guys.
Yeah.
Right? Who cares about Tom Brady's pension?
Yeah.
He made zillions of dollars.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyway, quick question. We're going to have Malcolm Jenkins, 2-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time All-Pro with the Eagles and the Saints. He's going to join us in a couple minutes. If Lamar's gone for the Ravens, do we assume that Snoop is the quarterback for the Ravens? Is he the starter?
Is that Tyler Huntley?
That's his nickname, Snoop.
We're not calling him that.
I'm about to say I ain't calling.
No, we don't call him that.
That's what people call him.
No.
The back of his Pro Bowl jersey did say Snoop
We don't
Huntley.
care
No.
if his mama calls him that. We
not
gonna
calling
call
him
him
Snoop.
Clay.
Yeah. Is he the starter? Is he
Do
the
you think he's the starter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't
How
have
many games, without knowing what else the Ravens will do in free agency or whatever, obviously a draft, if he's the starter next year, how many games do the Ravens
6.
Are they win?
win?
Uh, I'm not ready to say 6. I don't know. It's difficult to say because they getting a new OC in there. I don't know what their offense is going to look like. If he's doing the pass thing, then they ain't gonna win too
5
many.
if they pass in the raw.
They get like with him, you have to run the ball, and he basically have to turn into a two-headed monster quarterback and
Well,
running
what's your
back.
prediction? Let's go. You got to give us a prediction.
With a
6,
good
you win 6.
good defense, they always got a chance. I give them 500.
6.
Well, it ain't no 500. 8. I give them 8.
6 games.
I'm going 5 wins for the Ravens.
5, and I
give him
I
8.
wouldn't be mad at that either.
Yeah.